Hey guys, Pinobi here, bringing another Pokemon Narrated Wi-Fi battle. This one's going to be against Vexacus4666. He's my first round opponent in ELO's theme-teamed tournament. Basically, you make a team based on a theme. Mine's going to be One Piece. It's not super competitive, but it's a pretty fun team. I'm using mostly UUs, BL, and NU. Unfortunately for me, my opponent is going to be using all OUs. His link is in the description, as well as his link to his narration of this exact battle. He already has it posted. Really cool guy. He also does Yu-Gi-Oh! Like me, so check him out. I'm going to lead with PuffingTom, a reference to Tom from One Piece, of course. His team's based on Bakugan, by the way. He's just going to go straight away for an explosion. I was expecting a Psychic, because I think could be super effective stab, could easily knock me down to my sash, no problem. And because I'm predicting him to do that, I'm just going to go for a Poison Jab, so then I can go for the Aqua Jet to kill. I'm going to go ahead and switch out to go to my Sandrsonia, predicting him to be a Scarfrotchi. Because that's why he would send it in on Qwilfish to be faster and everything like that. And even though Jirachi has 100 base speed, which is higher than Qwilfish's anyway. So he's going to U-turn out into a Zapdos. I'm actually pretty confident that I can take this thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for a Confuse Ray, which is going to work out pretty well for me. I'm very glad that he wasn't some sort of like sub-agility or something like that. So that worked out well for me. He is going to hit himself in Confusion, and based on the damage that Discharge did, I'm going to assume he is a bulky Zapdos. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and go for the Toxic. I'm thinking he doesn't have the substitute, or else he would have already used it. So he's just going to opt to switch out because he's confused and poisoned. I'm going to predict that switch nicely and go for the Confuse Ray. Unfortunately, I don't have entry hazards up to abuse the switches that I'm forcing here. So he's going to go for an Iron Head. Unfortunately for me, it is going to hit, and it's going to flinch. So I'm not getting any Confused hacks, and he is going to get Flinch hacks. He's going to get the second turn snap out of Confusion and flinch me a second time. So I'm pretty much staying in here trying to get a Recover off so I can switch out to an appropriate counter. He's going to go for an Iron Head, flinch me a third time. I'm just going to go for a Recover here again. He's going to go for Iron Head, flinch me a fourth time. And I know I can survive one more, so I'm going to go for a Recover on this turn. And he's going to flinch me 5 times in a row, not get confused, and break out of Confusion on the second turn. I know I can't take another one, so I'm just going to have to go into my GaonCannon now, a reference to Thousand Sunny, of course, as some of you may know. Get the Intimidate, and of course the Resist, so I'm easily going to be able to take that. And I am a fairly bulky Arcanine. So I'm just going to go for a Flare Blitz, even predicting a switch into a counter, because Stab Flare Blitz does good damage on whatever, as we can clearly see on this on this Dragonite. Although I do pay him back with a critical hit, which is good for me. Although he's obviously a bulky Dragonite, and he is going to carry Roost, so it's not like the biggest deal in the world, unfortunately. So I'm going to go into my Marimo, just in case he packs the Earthquake. And then I'm going to double switch into my Sandrsonia, because I'm guessing he is the bulky Dragonite, and I would be able to get a free switch. So that worked out really nicely for me because I saw the Thunder Wave. And I know that a lot of the bulky Dragonites like to carry Flamethrower instead of Dragon Claw as their last move. So that was the reason I went to Milotic, because I would be able to take a Flamethrower, and it was the only chance I could think of to try to get my Milotic back up. So unfortunately my Milotic was a little bit hacks there. Gonna go for a Leech Seed, obviously outspeeding, and he's gonna go for the T-Wave, which is, good for him. But it's nice for me to be able to get some recovery and all of that good stuff. So I'm just gonna go for a Seed Flare. I'm gonna get a useless crit, but the reason I do it is just to get the Spadef drop, which has like, what, 60%, 80% chance or something ridiculous, really high, like, special defense drop chance. So yeah, he's gonna get Lefty, he's gonna get Leech Seed, he's gonna switch out into Zapdos. I'm gonna predict that nicely, go for the Leech Seed, because yeah, I did think this was a bulky Zapdos. And now I'm gonna predict the Heat Wave. I need to at least test to see if he carries it, so I'm gonna go into my Arcanine and get the Intimidate. Not that it's really useful since Zapdos is our special. And he does carry the Heat Wave. Unfortunately for him, he's going to miss, but it really wouldn't have done anything anyway. Obviously, I don't carry the Flash Fire, but it still wouldn't have done really any damage. So I'm just going to go ahead and Toxic this thing again, just because I know I can force switches. He's going to go for a Discharge. And yeah, it's unfortunate for me that I don't have Stealth Rocks, because it would really be like wrecking his team right now. So yeah, I'm gonna get some more Leech Seed recovery. He's gonna get some Toxic Poison. I'm gonna get some lefties. So overall, things are working out pretty, decent. Unfortunately, I did get my Arcanine paralyzed. I'm just gonna go for a Flare Blitz because I know, like I said before, it does pretty good damage to whatever, even to this Infernape that's coming in with the resist. And I am gonna go for an Extreme Speed here, hoping to KO. Just because a resisted move did that much, but unfortunately he is going to survive. And one of my also thoughts was, even if it doesn't kill, hopefully he'll be a Life Orb Mixape and knock himself out. Because, yeah, with my Arcanine paralyzed, it's not the super most useful thing, although I do carry the Aromatherapy on my Shaymin. So I'll go into my party table, just go for the Fake Out. And because I saw Close Combat and I didn't see Life Orb, I'm thinking he is perhaps choiced. And I'm definitely not thinking that he's mixed at this stage. So I'm going to switch on to my Marimo while he goes for an Acid Armor. To me, that's indicative of him being a Baton Passer, but I'm just going to go for a Seed Flare, hope I can get a crit to KO this thing, or a Spadef Drop for him to pass off into whatever he goes into. And although I don't get the crit, I do get the Spadef Drop, which is nice for me because it means that this Jirachi won't be able to take my Seed Flares exceptionally well. He's going to go for a Fire Punch, but I'm actually an Impish Nature Max Defense Shaymin. And even with a critical hit, it's going to do about half. So I am going to be able to get the Leech Seed and the lefties, which is going to nullify a lot of that. And you'd think you would want to switch here, having the Spadef Drop and everything. And knowing that his Fire Punch isn't going to do very much. But he does decide to stay in, and I am going to predict that. Just go for another Seed Flare, not going to try any Leech Seed predicting switches like before. So he's going to keep going for Fire Punches. I believe I do keep going for the Seed Flares. And he's going to get another crit and a burn. So because of him getting a crit and a burn, my Shaymin is going to go down here, which was my main way to deal with his Dragonite, was to keep seeding it. Because without Leech Seed on that Dragonite, I'm not feeling very confident that I can do too much. So I'm going to go into my PuffingTom. My plan here was to Aqua Jet the Infernape or whatever he brought in. I was pretty sure he'd bring in the Infernape and then explode on his Dragonite or Zapdos or whatever. And unfortunately he does carry the priority, which really sucks for me. Bring in my party table, go for the Mach Punch, go for the Mach Punch again. It is going to be able to KO, which is really nice for me. He's going to go ahead and bring in his Dragonite. I'm just going to go for a Mach Punch. It's not very effective. I'm not talking too much about my team names, but it is a One Piece theme team, and his is Bakugan. I didn't really understand his theme too much. He explains it in his video, but I wasn't really feeling it. And mine is mostly based on One Piece characters, some of the slightly more obscure things, not like Luffy, Zoro, etc. So you do have to probably watch it to understand some of it. But anyway, just going to go for the Crunch. I do get a defense drop. So this battle is actually really haxy on both ends, to be honest. I got a crit on him, getting lots of defense and Spadef drops. He got like 5 or 6 flinches on me, no confusion, 2 crits and a burn. I'm going to go for a Crunch, get a second defense drop, although I don't think the second one mattered. And I go for the Aqua Jet to KO this Dragonite, and unfortunately I am going to get paralyzed on that turn, which is going to pretty much seal the deal, although to be honest, he could have just brought in Zapdos and killed me off, and my Hitmontop wouldn't have been able to do anything about it anyway, so I'm not going to complain about that. GG, hope you guys enjoy. Check out links in the description. Peace.